How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of IPA, hopeful goodness, in the form of Connecticut Valley. It is their time to play American-style IPA. Connecticut Valley, small, very small sampling size from these guys. I've had previously 2 beers, I believe. One I actually had just in a share, just kind of randomly, but then I saw them, they had some stuff release locally. I don't know if I picked it up at a local kind of place in Pennsylvania. Well, either place is in PA, actually. But I don't know if it was Wegmans or just kind of local bottle shop. Anyway, I picked it up, and I never posted it. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe I'll post it when I post these. But I picked up one of the beers. So it's the only thing I've really ever had from these guys. But they kind of reached out to me, and they're like, hey, man, if we give you beer, will you review it? They didn't even say that. Just said, hey, can we send you some beer? And I was like, hell yeah. And that's what I do. I talk about beer. I review it. So, yeah. Got about, I think it was 6 different beers from these guys. So we'll see what's what. Probably not going to do them all. Maybe I'll post them all on the same day. I don't know. Regardless, let's dive into this one. Connecticut Valley Brewing Company, time to play American-style IPA. Is 5.5% alcohol by volume. South Windsor, Connecticut. And on the side here, story time. This is our take on a classic American-style IPA. This is a beer that'll take you to the beach, a barbecue, to a tailgate, a sports game, a celebration, or just when you are hanging out with family and friends. It's a beer that is inspired by our brew crew, and the kind of beer. Words. They're hard sometimes. They want to drink any day, every day, all day, and especially when it's time to play. Cheers. Done and done. Otherwise, it's all right. It's kind of a little cheesy, for my taste, but, nothing too bad. But it's all about what's in the beer. So let's see what's what. So they're calling it kind of a classic style kind of IPA. I mean, they're traditional American style. It's definitely hazy, so it's not like old school kind of style. What do they call it again? This is your classic American style IPA. Do I really care that they're calling it that? I don't know. I mean, when someone says they're gonna make a classic American style IPA, it's not necessarily what I expect it to look like. That looks like your new school super haze. Not a bad thing. I love me some hazies, but to be like, that's a classic IPA, I don't really think that's the case. Now, it could come off taste-wise, but look-wise, not so much. But, I mean, look at that. That is, like, rich, deep, thick butternut squash soup. Pinky finger ahead. Just looks kind of very new school hazy. Let's get a nose. Grapefruit, man. It's just all grapefruit. Big, huge, ripe, gigantic grapefruit. This can is 2 weeks old. 2 weeks old. 8/18. This is like the 2nd or 3rd of November. It was canned in October. Yeah, big, huge, pithy grapefruit. While at the same time you get a nice fleshy sweetness from it too. So there's a bittering component in the grapefruit. There's a sweet component in the grapefruit. There's a soft green hop pellet kind of vibe in the background. Nothing too crazy. And it's got enough sweetness to kind of make all that kind of make sense. But the grapefruit is so big and so vibrant, it almost has this acidity to it, which is kind of cool. So yeah, she smells quite nice. Let's dive in. Cheers. That's a tasty beer, man. That's a tasty damn beer. Yeah, big, huge, gigantic grapefruit, like ridiculous amount of grapefruit. Like, I haven't brought this one up in a really long time, but my parents used to own a bar for years. They sold it off when I was like 16, right before I could start freaking really using it. But when we made mixed drinks, this is dating myself a little bit, there wasn't those huge big plastic containers of grapefruit juice. You had those old Dole pull tab cans of grapefruit juice. We're kind of just a semi-sweet and kind of OG kind of grapefruit juice. That's what this reminds me of in beer form. Just big, huge, almost like it has an acidity to it, kind of grapefruit. Nice mouthfeel. A bit of dryness, a bit of bittering bite, a little bit of hot bite to it. But all of it's kind of welcome because there is enough sweetness. It all kind of makes sense. It is literally more grapefruit beer as opposed to being a hazy IPA. I'm not saying they put grapefruit in it. Maybe they did. I don't think so. I think this is just a core 4 beer. Just the way those shops are hoeing. Hops are showing It just reminds me of that. I mean, I can't get past it. There's other bits and pieces of the beer, but it is literally grapefruit juice in a can. It is probably one of the more impactful, if not one of the most impactful 5.5% pails I've had in a while. Yeah. 5.5% IPA. It's pretty vibrant stuff. Pretty aggressive stuff. I like it. I really dig it. I mean, the only problem I have with it is how they describe the beer and what they're calling it. That classic American style India Pale Ale is their take on a classic American style IPA. Now, I can see reading into that differently, though, to be perfectly honest with you, because there's like, this is their take on a classic style American IPA. Maybe their take on it is taking that classic IPA and making something that's chuggable and drinkable and something you want to bring to all those places they name on there. Something you want to drink all day, every day, and making it the hazy version of it. So it's their take on that classic mindset as opposed to their take on that classic style of American IPA. So maybe that's just me kind of picking too deep into the naming and how they kind of lay out the stylization and what they're talking about when it comes to the beer. But knee-jerk, I think that's where most people are going to go. If you wrote on this can, super crazy, grapefruit forward, super hazy, New England style IPA, they'd sell a lot more, and they would not be wrong. A lot of people, and it's the funny part, it's one of the rare occasions to where the beer is something that people strive for, whether it be a beer consumer or a beer producer in the hazy realm, and they don't tout it on the can. More times than not, a lot of breweries say, oh, this is your hazy, big, juicy IPA, here, have this, and it doesn't even come close to any of those characteristics. This one hits all the mark, but they just kind of put it in this can and kind of get, it's a classic American style IPA. That's kind of weird to me. Nothing wrong with it, other than it might confuse some people, but yeah. I like it. Bittering leads the way. Enough sweetness to balance everything off. The grapefruit is so cool and so OG and so old school. It reminds me of drinking those little cans, those pull tab cans my parents used to have in my bar. Or their bar, I should say. And yeah, I dig it. It's probably, let's put it this way, my first kind of go at the beers that they've sent me, the 6 they sent me, and with my mindset going into the way this one laid out, I was expecting something different, and it totally threw me for a loop in a very good way. It's tasty, it's delicious, I dig it. I'm a fan. Let's talk about it. It's one of the better, lower ABV IPAs I've had as of late. Actually, yeah, it is. It's that delicious. You know me. You guys know me. Whether a brewery sends me beer or not does not influence me in any form or fashion. I will poop all over a beer if it's poop worthy, and I will give praise when it's worthy, at least for my liking, my palate. Hence the reason I know great stuff. It's all about me, and this is the good stuff. Value and availability, no idea. Maybe somebody out there in Connecticut land, or where this is distroed, could chime in and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like big, huge, hazy IPAs, you don't mind a bit of bittering accompanying your beer, well, at the same time, you're just a big fan of like grapefruit, because this is where this one really shines. Tons of grapefruit, nice bittering, nice mouthfeel, and just that ABV, getting that impact at that ABV. It's giving you like 7-8% ABV impact and 5.5%, and that in and of itself just makes me happy. So there you go, another review in the books. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice classic American IPA right now, and hope to see you next time. Cheers.